Live from WTVO Rockford and your home team. Eyewitness News at 5 starts now.
Possible record-breaking dangerous heat is ahead this week. There are several ways to cool down and stay safe across the state line. Plus, the second public hearing as lawmakers look into the January 6th riots at the Capitol happened this morning as some of those closest to former President Trump testify. And lighting the way, local police officers hit the pavement to help a special flame of hope get to its destination. Good evening, I'm Eric Wilson. Mimi is off tonight. It has been a humid, sticky day. Now the focus moves to dangerous heat this week. Candace is back with what you need to know. Candace.
Yeah, you know, Eric, just as I had mentioned, we've got that high heat and humidity coming up for some and for many actually already late this afternoon and evening. It has really taken hold, and we've got a couple more days of that. So the impacts that we're going to feel on our bodies really going to be there with kind of this prolonged heat and humidity. For the next couple of hours, the focus is going to be some of the showers and thunderstorms. Fairly significant storm complex moved through Madison, actually had ping-ponged a golf ball-sized hail, as I mentioned earlier, and winds gusting to 60 miles per hour. That storm now moving out over Lake Michigan. There has been a little development along the southern fringe of that, so it's not out of the realm of possibility that an isolated shower or thunderstorm may carry over on the southern fringe of that and could impact parts of the area within the next hour or two. So that'll be something that we have to keep an eye on, but overall I think that thunderstorm risk is staying fairly low for us. We do have that severe thunderstorm watch, Rock and Walworth County until 9 o'clock. I do not anticipate a watch to be extended further south here, and really that should actually be allowed to expire before 9 o'clock as those thunderstorms move out. They're actually going to become a pretty significant system on the other side of Lake Michigan, impacting parts of Indiana and Ohio here later this evening. What we're focusing on outside of that isolated storm threat, look at these numbers, Eric. The heat index is up over 100 degrees as our temperature sits at 90 right now in Rockford. Feels like 104, 107 the current heat index in Sterling with an air temperature of 92. 107 is also what it feels like in Freeport. That air temperature, though, only at 87. We've got dew point temperatures that are near 80 degrees. That is an extremely moisture-rich air mass and very, very uncomfortable. So big change from the 50s we woke up to this morning to that heat and humidity. Heat advisory for all of northern Illinois, southern Wisconsin. We've got several more days of that, where tomorrow and Wednesday that peak heat index again up close to 110 degrees. Coming up a little later in the newscast, I'll let you know how long this will stick around and if we're going to see any showers or thunderstorms as we near Father's Day weekend. Eric, that's coming up a little later.
We are sweating just looking at those numbers. Thanks, Candace. Staying inside somewhere cool is the best way to stay safe in this heat. But for some people who work outside, that's not an option. Experts say it's important to stop and take breaks and make sure you drink plenty of water.
If you get dehydrated, which you can do in a really short period of time, to put that back or to get feeling normal again can actually take a matter of days.
Signs of heat-related illness include a headache, dizziness, nausea, and vomiting. Doctors say you may have chest pain as well. If you need to get out of the heat this week, there are several cooling areas open in Winnebago, Boone, and Rock counties. That includes Carpenter's Place, Rockford Rescue Mission, Loves Park, City Hall's gym, and the Belvedere Public Safety Building. 3 people are recovering after being shot yesterday in Rockford. Just before 2 in the morning, police responded to 15th Avenue near the Blackhawk housing complex for reports of shots fired. About the same time, officers were told 2 people were at the hospital. The 30 and 31-year-old men told police the 2 were leaving a business nearby when someone drove by and shot them. Around noon, Rockford police were called to North Johnston and Arthur Avenue. A witness told officers 2 people were talking. One of the men pulled out a gun and shot the other man. The 24-year-old was hit several times. He is in the hospital with serious injuries. No one has been arrested in either shooting. If you have information, call police or leave a tip with the Tip 411 app. A group of bipartisan U.S. senators comes to an agreement on gun safety legislation. The bill includes mental health resources and improvements to school safety. It prevents the mentally ill from buying firearms, as well as adds an enhanced review process for gun purchases made by anyone younger than 21. Lawmakers think this will help address the issue plaguing the country.
We'll check the juvenile records to make sure there's no serious crimes or serious mental incapacities that they may have been dealing with that we didn't know about.
Law-abiding gun owners will not be subject to any new restrictions, period.
Senators hope to get the legislation on the floor in the next few weeks. State of Illinois makes a major investment in early childhood education and care. More than $175 million in funding was announced. That includes changes like an increase to the eligibility income limit for the Child Care Assistance Program. That is now set at 225% above the federal poverty line. State officials say the move should increase the number of kids served by 20,000. Families who qualify with a parent or guardian working in child care would also see new benefits.
These investments are designed to strengthen and grow a profession that is largely represented by women, including women of color, and our immigrant community. Childcare doesn't work without its workforce, and Illinois' childcare system is only as strong as the supports for and the investments in childcare workers across the state.
You can find a full list of changes on mystateline.com. Those take effect July 1st. Tomorrow is World Blood Donor Day. A local blood bank is offering gas cards to encourage people to make a donation. All donors at the Rock River Valley Blood Center Tuesday will be entered into a drawing. The center is giving out 10 $25 gas cards. There is a critical, ongoing need for blood in the community. This is normally the time of year the need for blood increases while donations decrease.
We definitely need donors, and we also need new donors, because every day we lose donors due to, medical conditions, because their health maybe is not as good, people move away. So we have to be constantly replacing donors because we have donor attrition.
You can schedule an appointment through the Rock River Valley Blood Center's website or the RRVBC app. Local law enforcement helped the Special Olympics torch get to the Summer Games. South Beloit Police started leg one of the law enforcement torch run this morning. We caught up with the group at Rockvale Children's Home on Rockton Avenue, where Rockford Police took over and ran to District 2 headquarters. This is the largest year-round fundraiser for Special Olympics Illinois. The torch will travel nearly 1,500 miles to Normal, Illinois for the Summer Games. In the second public hearing on the January 6th attack on the Capitol, committee members tried to prove President Trump compelled his supporters to attack the Capitol by knowingly spreading lies about the election. Alexander Limon is keeping you connected to the nation's capital.
The January 6th committee says even before the election and without any proof of voting irregularities, former President Trump started planting seeds of distrust.
The only way we're going to lose this election is if the election is rigged. Remember that.
In its second public hearing, the committee used testimony from Republican witnesses who said they told Trump there was no evidence of widespread election fraud. And in more than 60 court cases, even Trump-appointed judges reached that same conclusion.
All the early claims that I understood were completely bogus and silly and usually based on complete misinformation.
Former Attorney General William Barr said he left the administration because he couldn't fight all of the lies Trump was telling about the election.
And it was like playing whack-a-mole.
The committee members say from election night on, Trump aligned himself only with those who told him what he wanted to hear.
Followed the course recommended by an apparently inebriated Rudy Giuliani to just claim he won.
The big lie was also a big ripoff.
The committee also presented evidence showing the former president defrauded his supporters by receiving $250 million in donations for a so-called election defense fund.
But the Trump campaign didn't use the money for that.
The investigation found the defense fund never existed. The committee members say that instead of using those millions of dollars in donations for election-related matters, the Trump campaign used it for other things, even for Trump's hotels. Reporting in Washington, Alexandra Limon.
Now, your first warned weather forecast from Chief Meteorologist Candace King.
Well, we've got a lot to talk about here within the next several days. First, the risk for some showers, thunderstorms over the next couple of hours, and then next with the significant heat that has already built for some over the last couple of hours. Now, we had a fairly large rain shield move across parts of Wisconsin earlier today. On the tail end of that, had a couple of thunderstorms develop over Wisconsin, actually produced some pretty significant severe weather. That thunderstorm now moving out over Lake Michigan, but watching a couple additional showers and isolated thunderstorms now start to develop with those cumulus clouds building up on the southern tail end of that. North of Rockford, once you get up towards the Rockton area, Roscoe getting in on some of that activity. This kind of lifting more to the east and to the northeast, but we may see a little more development the further south. So eastern sections of Ogle County, DeKalb County within the next couple of hours. And there is the risk for some of those thunderstorms to turn strong to severe, with hail and wind being the primary concern. So while our threat for overall severe weather here these next several hours is low, it is not zero just yet, just with that heat and humidity and still kind of these boundaries at play, and that warm front now lifting up north into northern Illinois. Temperatures, though, even through this evening, we've made it into the upper 80s, 90 degrees. The heat index is over 100, and it is going to stay fairly muggy here through the night tonight. We shut off that chance for rain and thunderstorms overnight. Could see some areas of fog to the northeast and east of us early tomorrow, but the heat is really on for tomorrow afternoon. The highest risk for severe weather actually going to be with the storm complex that'll likely develop on the other side of Lake Michigan for tonight, but we still do have that slight risk out here again for those additional isolated thunderstorms that'll carry us through about sunset. Now we shift our focus to the heat, and for some it has really gone up here over the last couple of hours. Look at this, 104 is what it feels like right now in Rockford, 107 in Freeport, Sterling, 103 the current heat index in Rochelle and DeKalb, while temperatures right now are in the upper 80s, low 90s. Heat advisory for most of us, this actually goes into effect tomorrow at noon, but hey, let's just call this be very cautious out there, and we're going to continue that heat advisory. This actually goes until Wednesday evening, 8 o'clock, and that gives you an idea of just how long this heat is going to stick with us. These high numbers with temperatures and that high heat index factor too. So as we go through the overnight tonight, temperatures only in the low to mid 70s. Tomorrow we are right back in mid and upper 90s for tomorrow afternoon. Our record high tomorrow is 98. We could come very close to actually tying, maybe breaking that if we get enough sunshine. There is going to be a breeze from the southwest about 10 to 15 miles per hour. We do not get much relief tomorrow night, and this is really key. Tonight, tomorrow night, Wednesday night, when you've got those nighttime temperatures too that are in the 70s, you don't get that relief, that cooling factor at night, and it just adds on the stress to our bodies with this heat. So really have to take that seriously. Back into the mid 90s again. We're mostly dry for Wednesday afternoon. There are going to be some showers and thunderstorms that move in from the northwest as this ridge of high pressure that we're currently under now begins to break down. You get that dip in the jet stream that'll pull that cold front through Wednesday night. Could be a couple of stronger thunderstorms tied in with that during that time with some strong winds, but we break with that humidity later this week, but we are going to keep the heat. Look at the heat source. Temperatures in the 90s, triple digits down to the southwest, and that's really where we're starting to see that heat come to play. So when we look at our heat index factors for tomorrow, right back again where we are this afternoon, the peak heat index for some tomorrow afternoon could come close to 110 degrees. So can't stress it enough. Make sure you take those necessary heat precautions, not only for tonight, tomorrow, but also Wednesday. Temperatures actually near 96, I think we make it to on Wednesday afternoon, down to 87 on Thursday. But look at the rest of this week, Eric. We dry things out here as we get towards the end of the week. Temperatures, though, I think early next week will be right back in the 90s.
Now sports with David Greenberg.
Well, if you haven't been paying much attention to the NBA Finals, you've been missing one heck of a series so far. It's kind of got that old school, new school style of play. It's been missing in the NBA in recent years. Warriors have the new school with Steph Curry and their ability to shoot the three ball. Celtics more that old school, grind you down, defensively stout team. They just play sound team basketball. Well, tonight's game's a very important one because of the series tied up at 2-2. Whoever wins this one will be just a one win away from the title. Steph Curry looking like the early favorite for Finals MVP, averaging over 34 points per game on basically 50% shooting from the field. But despite his stellar offensive numbers, even he knows that defense wins championships.
Win two more games, it comes down to the way that we defend, the way that we bring intensity, especially to start games, understanding how they respond after losses. That was one of the big points in the series. Two great teams. They know how to respond. They know how to win in other people's buildings. and we have to be ready for that response and hopefully, throw the first punch.
You can catch all of tonight's Game 5 action right here on WTVO. Tip-off from San Fran is at 8 p.m. And in Major League Baseball, Cubs looking to snap a 6-game losing streak back at home after an abysmal series against the Yankees where they got outscored 28-5. They'll face former Cubs ace Yu Darvish and the Padres. First pitch at 7:05. Meanwhile, White Sox have an earlier start in Detroit at 6:05. Well, lastly, coming up tonight, Orangeville native Tessa Janicki of Team USA will go for the gold at the International Ice Hockey Federation Women's U18 World Championships up in Madison, Wisconsin. Janicki and the red, white, and blue will take on our neighbors to the north, Canada, in their prelim round. Just the other day, USA routed Canada 7-0. I'll have the highlights tonight coming up at 9 and 10.
We've talked for a while about the heat coming, but it's already here. We're talking triple-digit heat indexes already.
Yeah, I mean, the numbers really went up, and when you have that dew point temperature near 80 degrees, like what a lot of us do here this evening, you've got those numbers.
That's just unbelievable to have a dew point that high.
Look, it's uncomfortable. There's just no way, there's no easy way to put it. I mean, it is quite a contrast from what it was earlier today. But with that heat and humidity, you've got the first warn interactive radar. We've had thunderstorms mostly to the north, but we are starting to see some of those quickly evolve over Boone County, moving into McHenry County. May not take long for some of those to turn severe, so there is still that isolated severe risk here for the next few hours. Temperatures tomorrow 97, 80s through the end of the week.
Thanks, Candace. Stay safe.